Hi everyone, my name is Suciati from 6E class English Language Education. In here, I would like to present about the material that I create for ESP. For the specific is English for journalists. In here, there are 7 materials that I create, and also their learning outcomes and expected competencies. The first material is introduction. In the introduction consists of introducing self, greetings, expression of goodbyes, saying thank you and apologies. And for the learning outcomes, students can introduce themselves to each other in front of the class and understanding of the several expression of greeting, goodbye, saying thank you and apologies based on the situation and context. And for the expected competencies, the first one is understanding of how to introduce himself to each other and understand about the several kind of greeting, several expression of goodbye, saying thank you and apologies based on the situation and context. And the second is knowing the general concept of how to use several kind of expression of greetings, goodbye, saying thank you and apologies based on the situation and context. And the third one is analyzing the general concept of how to use kind of expression of greeting, goodbye, saying thank you, and apologies based on the situation and context. Alright, in this material, the student will learn about how to introduce themselves to each other in the front of class, and as they be the journalists, the first thing they will introduce themselves to each other, and also they will learn about the several expression of greeting. For example, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hi, and hello, and also the expression of goodbyes, saying thank you and apologies based on the situation and context. They will learn more about some expression about goodbyes, saying thank you and apologies. And the second material is the definition and the type and historical of journalism. And for the learning outcomes, students understand about the definition, types, and the historical of journalism. And for the expected competencies, knowing the definition, types, and the historical of journalism. The second one is understanding about the definition, types, and the historical of journalism. And the third one is analyzing the definition, types, and the historical of journalism. And the last is explaining the definition of journalism by their own words. It means the student can create the definition of journalism by their own words. And in this material, the student will learn about the definition, several definitions of journalism by the expert, and also the types of journalism and how the historical of journalism until nowadays. And the third material is vocabulary. And the learning outcomes, students understand about the vocabularies related to English for journalism and part of speech. And the expected competencies, knowing several vocabularies related to English for journalists and part of speech. And the second one is understanding several vocabularies related to English for journalists and part of speech. And the last is analyzing several vocabularies related to English for journalists and part of speech. In this material, the student will learn about several kind of vocabularies related to the English for journalists. For example, about the place, the name of building, and the thing, and occupation, and etc. And for part of speech and consists of noun, verb, adjective, and conjunction, and etc. And the fourth is grammar. The grammar consists of preposition in, on, and at, an article about a, an, and the, and simple past tense and also present perfect tense. And learning outcomes, students can understand of preposition in on at, an article, simple present tense and present perfect tense. And for the competencies, knowing the general concept of preposition in on at, an article an and the, and simple present tense and present perfect tense. And the second one is understanding the general concept of the preposition, articles, a simple present tense and present perfect tense. And the last is analyzing the general concept of preposition, article, simple present tense and present perfect tense. In this material, the student will learn about a preposition, how to use preposition in the sentence, and also the article, and make the sentence of simple past tense and also present perfect tense. And also the students learn about the structure of those tenses. And fifth is how to research for the topic and interview. And the learning outcomes is students understand about how to research for the topic and how to interview to get the information. And for the competencies, knowing the general concept of how to research for the topic and interview. And the second is understanding the general concept of how to research for the topic and interview the interviewee. The last is analyzing the general concept of how to research for the topic and interview the interviewee. In this material, the students will learn about how the journalists research for the topic, how the journalists choose the topic for their research, their article, news, and etc. And also learn about how to interview the interviewees to get the information for the news. And six is reading. In reading consists of title or topic, main idea, topic sentence, supporting details, and conclusion. And for the learning outcomes, students can understand about the title and the topic, and main idea, topic sentence, and supporting details and conclusion. And for the expected competencies, knowing of title and topic, main idea, topic sentences, supporting details, and conclusion. And the second one is understanding of title, topics, main idea, topic sentence, supporting detail, and conclusion. And the last is analyzing or identifying the title, topic, main idea, topic sentences, supporting detail, and conclusion. The student will learn about this type of material. In reading material, the student will given the news or the article by the teacher and ask the student to analyze and identify what is the topic of the news or the article or about the text, and what is the main idea of the text, topic sentences, and supporting details, and what is the conclusion about the text. And for the last material is writing. In writing consists of paragraph writing, essay, articles, and news writing. And for the learning outcomes, students can understand and can write paragraph, essay, article, and news. And for the expected competencies, knowing the general concept of how to write a paragraph, essay, article, and news. And the second one, understanding the general concept how to write paragraph, essay, article, and news. And the last is analyzing the general concept of how to write paragraph, essay, article, and news. Before the students are going to write an essay, article, or news, the first thing is the student will observe about the event or the accident in the society. And then they do the interview with the interviewee to get some information about that event. And after that, the students will write an essay, article, or news based on the event or the accident that they observe in society. I think that's all for my presentation about the material that I create for ESP, and that is English for Journalists. I do apologize if there is mistake, and thank you so much for watching and your attention.